AskReddit by Edelman11. Veterans of Reddit, how do you typically respond when someone says thank you for your service? My grandpa used to say, "Don't thank me, I was drafted." I get thanked constantly, still haven't figured out what to say. Cause I didn't serve, lol. People see a dude aged 20-30 with a missing leg and they just assume I served. It's so weird, to the point I won't even go out on Veterans Day. THNKS, you too, then awkward silence. So glad I'm not the only one doing this. I literally just say oh thank you, that's it. It's simple and I don't go around broadcasting it, haha. It usually only happens when someone checks my ID and sees the little veteran designator on it. What state do you live in where your veteran status is on your driver's license? I have a VA ID for that purpose. Downvoted for a question, lol, someone hates learning. I show them a tablet phone with a tip option and then look away out of respect. I love this answer. Finally an aspect of tipping culture I'd love. Thank you for your support. This is what I use as well, always felt awkward to say you're welcome. Just as a question. But does any other country do this crap? As a veteran it just seems like lip service to sound like you support military men and women and such, without actually doing something to help those hurt. I hate when I hear it overall. The closest I've seen was some right-wing shite in the UK that came up around a charity called Help for Heroes, as if everyone who signed up to kill brown people in Afghanistan and Iraq was to be considered a hero and have their whole licked by the general public at every opportunity. It's the same military fetishist bullshit that Remembrance Day has turned into. It's all about unwavering support for the war machine and manipulating the public into turning on each other for non-conformity while arms manufacturers get fat on their wares, turning human beings into red mist. It's all a fucking racket. Not a vet, but work with one. He hates it. He says then show support for our mental health programs. Donate to our charities and bring awareness to 22 a day. 22 a day is a movement to bring awareness to veteran suicide. It's estimated that approximately 22 veterans a day take their own lives in the US. I'm glad he says that. I'm not a vet, but it's always good to bring light to the ugly truths of our society. I'm not a vet, but I watched a speech once by a vet who said this always made him uncomfortable and that half the time people were saying it to make themselves feel good, so he started replying with "you were worth it." It throws the spotlight back on the original commenter. That's good. I will start using that line now, as I feel about the same way as this vet. To me it's just hollow words from people trying to feel better about themselves. I really thought this was directed towards people who have been on Reddit for a long time. Hahaha. Not me, but had a good friend that was a combat medic and had seen some shit. One of his stories was how he went to help an Iraqi and they were booby trapped but it didn't explode. Then one day his Humvee got hit and he was the only one injured and was shot at the whole time he was trying to save their lives. He said eventually he would just walk into combat to help someone, basically like it just wasn't up to him when he died. Anyway, the first time I tried to sincerely tell him thanks for what he did for our country, his response was "fuck you, I hate it when people say that, I did it for the guys I was with." I like that guy already. If it's a veteran sex worker, I think it's polite to say thank you for your cervix. Will you be dining in or to go? If I don't make it awkward, I try to respond with thank you for your support. Otherwise, I don't know how to reply, which makes it awkward. This is what I usually do. A couple of times, they've had a youngster with them and it was clear attempt to raise their kid in a certain sort of way or set a certain example. So I've been known to pull off a patch I know I have extras of and hand it off to the kiddos so they have something to talk about with or a shared memory with mom and or dad. I'm a peacetime vet, so it's a yeah, thanks, I guess. I'm just here for my veterans discount. Peacetime vet? No such thing in America. We all served a mission of deterrence. I thanked them for the comment in the spirit in which it was intended, but really I didn't join to get my ass kissed. Well said. Thank you for thanking me. Walk awkwardly away. I usually wouldn't if you knew what I did over there a lot, but most the time I just give a awkward smile and continue with whatever story had the military set up. Being a veteran doesn't usually come up in casual conversation. It is usually people who know my sense of humor or randoms that get in on a story I am telling. The thing is, most people who give the lip service are disingenuous at best. They are thinking a romantic idea of spreading democracy and fighting Nazis, and not actual modern military service of bringing corporate greed to impoverished nations. If you knew what you was paying me to do, you wouldn't be thanking me. We sleep soundly in our beds because rough men stand ready in the night to visit violence on those who would do us harm. Winston Churchill. I don't look down my nose at the butcher. I value the job he does since I eat meat. I honor those who gave of their time, experience and life to serve our country. Our country isn't a bunch of politicians or a nebulous ideal. Our country is the people who vote and pay taxes. Your service is appreciated. Thank you for paying your taxes. Everybody smiles, and the game is over. No need to thank me, they paid me and gave me medals. I'm happy to do it. I'm not, in fact, happy to do it, but in those situations it's not about me. That person had a positive feeling and wanted to express gratitude, so I let them have that. I always say I served from 95-99. Nothing happened on my watch. Coincidence? I don't think so. The enemy knew you were on the prowl and were too busy quaking in their boots to do anything. It took them a whole 2 years to recover from the fear you put in them. I have absolutely no feelings of patriotism or Mothra or apple pie or USA. 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 I did it only for the cheap thrills and the guns and the airplanes and parachutes. I used to love the flag, but those nasty Trump loser motherfuckers ran off with that. You know what? Fuck the United States of America. About half of its citizens are no better than Nazis. Thank you for your service. How about you suck my dick? It's cringe. It's incredibly awkward when someone thanks me for my service. It feels like a obligatory reflexive thing on their part. They feel social pressure to say it if they find out I served in the military. I am proud to have served and proud of my 10 years. I feel like I contributed a great deal, but I also got a lot out of it. I went in because it was right for me, not from some exaggerated sense of duty to country. Compliments that come from obligation are no compliments at all. I don't feel a need for them and they shouldn't feel pressure to make them. No matter how much I try to prepare and make myself say thanks for your support, I always say oh thanks. Awkward silence. If I'm in the phone I say nothing and hope nobody notices. They move on. When I call military things, many of the service texts smoosh it in and don't even give a person time to answer. Thank fucking God.